Greetings, dear ladies. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. I wait just for a moment for my partners to step far away. This particular kind of channeling, as I have mentioned before, is different for him. For he doesn't hear what's happening now. And I'll say it again for those who need to hear it. It has nothing whatsoever to do with secrets. It has to do with the fact that this particular intent today is for your gender. And so it's inappropriate that he would attend. It's in honor of your gender. Later he will hear it, just like you do, later, if you wish. We sit today, all of us, in a great place. And for those who have just joined, we are in the Temple of Wisdom, in the Delphi University for Spiritual Studies. Don't take this lightly. This room, the energy here. There was dirt here before the building. But the plans said Temple of Wisdom. The intent from the very, very first shovel of dirt turned over to become a foundation was the room you see here, for the purpose you see here. And so here you sit again in a temple. For some of you, I will say, here you sit again in a place called Delphi. The experiences of those even here are vast. We celebrate the area of Lemuria, the name Lemuria. It's all a metaphor for the Sisterhood. And the metaphor is spiritual beginnings. There are so many of you who were present on the actual Lemurian island, and some of you were not. Some of you were present later in what became that which was the mainland Lemuria, derivatives of what was learned on the original Lemuria. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. For what you celebrate today is a oneness of purpose. And the oneness of purpose is tied together with what I will call the gentle gender. It's the temple of wisdom. You want to know what the Lemurian Sisterhood does? You want to know the basic training and teaching? Let me tell you. Not all of you were mothers. I know who's here. But all of you had a mother. And what mothers have in the gender of motherhood is that they are wise. When the child comes into a life of a mother, the mother is already on wisdom alert. What is the child doing? Based on my experience in life, what can I show the child? Based upon what the child wants, what shall we give it? Based upon that which the child is, what shall we do with it? Until it has a personality of its own and you realize that it's being shaped by the wisdom of the mother. So you might say that motherhood in general requires great wisdom done well. If it's true that the sisterhood comes from that source of the 7 sisters, of the gender that is selected for its compassion and its gentleness and its wisdom, let me tell you, you're in the right place. Don't take this lightly. The sisterhood teaches wisdom. Long after you would leave this place, ladies, the questions that might be put to you today are, what do I do with this? Ceremony is beautiful. All ceremony is a celebration of who you are, where you've been, and what you wish to do. Songs will be sung. And you might say, what is the purpose of this? And I will tell you, it's the celebration of the wisdom that you carry. What if these very meetings actually put together a wisdom level that you didn't come in with? Who better to give advice to earth than the life givers? Who better to go to than a mother or a female who won't be that threatening, who might actually sit and listen, and who would pass wisdom to those who need it? Your gender serves both genders. And men will come to you because they will see mother wisdom in you. And there will be no bias of your gender because they feel the mother wisdom, if you'll allow it. And so the sisterhood teaches you to exude the compassion of wisdom. If somebody comes to you and says, what is the wisest thing I can do? What would you say to them? Are you prepared for that question? Are you prepared to show wisdom? It's intuitive. Did you know it is more intuitive to your gender than to the other gender? This is what you come in with because you have to raise a child. You're prepared for it. You're ready for it. It's part of your persona. You're wiser and ready then to dispense wisdom. So what's the answer when somebody asks, give me wisdom, what should I do? When the one who comes to the master and sits at his feet and says, I am ready to learn all, what can I do? The shaman, who was always a woman, would say, be quiet and listen, and say nothing. For all the wisdom you ever need to know will be collected by being silent and taking in that which you see in the circumstances that are, and then giving back the most loving, compassionate information that you see are solutions for what you are and what has been gained by your silence. There are those in spiritual history who have taken vows of silence, and now you know why. The masters taught this, and the apprentices were at their feet. And learning, the first thing you do is get out of the way of yourself. Forget the things that you think you know, because they're often not necessarily correct. And be silent. It's the wisest information you could give anyone. Be still and know that you are God. This is where the wisdom is taught. You're in the right place at the right time. I want you to think about the questions that might be asked of you, not by little ones, by your peers, who would say, what can you tell me that I would need to know? and so it is.